Welcome to the Healthy Living Doesn't Have to Suck podcast. I'm your host, Melyssa with the Y. Join me for conversations about creating mindset and behavior changes that build a healthier, happier you. Let's drop the struggle and say hello to healthy living made easy, entertaining, and empowering. Hello, change makers, and welcome back to another episode. I can't believe we are on episode 5, and I just checked, and we have over 100 downloads of this podcast so far, and that makes me super excited because that means like there's an average of 25 of y'all out there tuning in regularly, and that makes my heart so happy. So first of all, just wanted to give a huge shout out to all of you who have been tuning in, sharing the episodes, letting me know what your thoughts are, and it just means the world. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So much gratitude. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Okay, on to this episode. I wanted to spend some time talking about the way that we in the world try to quantify health as a size. And it's one of my biggest pet peeves. And today I just wanted to offer a slight shift in language to hopefully help us overcome some body image issues, body dysmorphia, just trying to hopefully walk away feeling better about your body. That's the goal of this episode today. So hopefully that gets you excited to hear what's to come. But I wanted to share a little bit about my experience recently with a health coach on a large platform. This was through my full-time job, and I ranted about this a little bit already in the Changemaker community, but I wanted to talk about it here as well because it was a very, how do I want to say this nicely? It was a very enlightening experience. And I say that because now, as a trained health coach, I can recognize when the expert approach is being taken. And as a quick refresher, the expert approach is where you are told to do something, right? Like, I am the expert, I am telling you what to do. But the coach approach is more about guiding you to find your own answers. So it's never about me telling you what to do. It's about me asking the right questions to help you figure out the answers because you are your own best expert. So having that knowledge now, I don't intentionally try to criticize other health coaches, but I notice that during my experience, I'm really having to because every time I think about this, I get all worked up. But basically, the long of the short of it is I had an experience with a health coach on a large platform that is used where I was made to feel bad about my weight. And for those of you who have read the book, you know that this has been a challenge for me throughout my entire life. As a ballet student, my instructor, who happened to be my grandma's best friend, told me that I needed to watch my weight. When I was loving dance, I felt confident as a dancer, and it just took that one phrase to just crush me because I always thought I would be too fat to be a ballet dancer. And because I didn't see my body type represented with any sort of dance companies. And that's why eating disorders were such a huge problem within the dance community. But that's a separate whole other issue. Bringing it back, I've struggled for a very long time to get to the point to try to not let the number on the scale tell me what my worth was. I have fought so hard to work against that societal norm that tells us there's a number that defines us, that defines whether we're healthy, that defines basically whether we're pretty or not, because thin privilege is a real thing, y'all. And this experience just brought me back and opened so many old wounds back up again. And it just felt so fresh. And honestly, I'm still trying to work through it because it was really a huge hit. And the reason because I have been doing a lot of really good things for my health. I have been more active. I have been eating more nutritiously. I have been practicing more regular stress management. Sleep, usually not a problem for me, but like I've been drinking less alcohol. Like I was doing so well with my health behaviors. And it took this one coach to just break me down. And at first, I was very angry, but I realized that there was a lot of hurt underneath that because I also realized that if I did not have the training that I do as a coach, and if I did not think that my weight was an issue because I was taking care of myself in different ways and engaging in these different healthy habits, let me just share the message from the coach. All right, so let me give a little bit of background about why I was reaching out to this coach because through my full-time job, we have a wellness incentive. You can earn some extra cash during the year by getting your biometrics done, participating in health coaching calls if you have values that are out of range, and then doing a whole bunch of different programs that our team offers. So I wanted to take advantage of the incentive. Obviously, who doesn't love free money? And so I went and got my biometrics done. Cholesterol was good. Blood pressure was good, but I was out of range on my BMI. And you've already heard me rant about this before. It is the bane of my existence as a health professional. The BMI is body mass index. It is literally just a ratio of your height to your weight. It doesn't take into account your body composition. It's like the least accurate measure of body composition. And honestly, it's not a great predictor of your health risk. Oh, all of that to say, I had to do health coaching sessions that are free, which is a nice perk to be able to hit part one of my wellness incentive. Okay. So then I send a message on the coaching platform that says, hey, I need to participate in some coaching sessions. That's all I said. That's all I said. Meanwhile, my coach wrote back, tell me about your current habits and one improvement you want to focus on this month. If it had stopped there, that would have been great. That would have been a wonderful open-ended question to ask me about what I desire to work on. But it doesn't end there because the next two questions are, what is your current weight and date it was taken? What is your goal weight in the next 6 to 12 months? Y'all, I am not a huge fan of using weight as a goal, weight loss, weight gain. And the reason for it is because weight is so multifaceted. There's so many things that influence your weight status that it can feel defeating. That's one of the reasons why I love taking a more weight neutral approach to change, because that is just one of many different values that can be an indicator of your health status. Taken alone, it is not a very good indicator of your health status. So there's that point. Other point is because we don't have a whole lot of control over our weight. What we do have control over are the factors that influence our weight, but we shouldn't be focusing on setting weight loss as our only goal, because you have to break that down into a process goal. So a weight goal is an outcome goal. You're striving for a certain outcome, but you can't just leave it at that. You have to break it down to what are the actual action steps, the behaviors that you're going to engage in that are going to help you reach that outcome goal of weight loss. So the actual action steps, that's considered a process goal. That is the approach I prefer to take. You can set outcome goals for your long-term goals, but when you still have to break that down into short-term goals, you want it to be focused on a behavior that you're engaging in. So, as you can imagine, I became enraged and I ranted about this on my Instagram stories and I ranted about this in the Changemaker community because it did me harm. Like it set me back so much mentally and emotionally that I felt so defeated because this coach was reinforcing that my weight was significant, that there was something wrong with my weight, which therefore means that there's something wrong with my body. Woo! Okay. Let's break that down some more. Let's work through I'm still processing it now that I've let this resurface because this happened about a month ago, I would say. And it still sucks. It still really fucking sucks because I worked so hard to start overcoming that story of my weight is my value. And I'm sure that there's a lot of y'all that can relate to that out there. And it's an unfortunate reality of the world that we live in. So I want to offer just some of the things that are helpful in my world that will maybe support you too. The first thing is just recognizing those unhelpful stories around your weight. What are the thoughts that come up around what you think about your weight? I will share. One of the thoughts that comes up for me is I am fat. I'm fat. Ugh, God, I hate the sound of that. And okay, so this is the shift in linguistics that I want to offer up. Just a slight little change in how we talk about things that can sometimes have a relatively significant impact. Because words have what am I trying to say? Words have meaning, obviously, but words have so much of an impact. And as much as we'd love to take the I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever bounces off of me sticks to you approach, those words can get buried in our brains and they get planted there. Even if we don't think that it's bothering us, it might start growing some weeds. And the weeds from those seeds start to make their way into our brain and get ingrained in our brain. Okay, I'm done rhyming. But hopefully that just is to say words have an impact on us. So we need to be really mindful of not just the words that we say to other people, like in the example of this coach, but also in the words that we say to ourselves and about ourselves. So the phrase I'm fat, fat is not something you are. It's something you have. Fat is something you have, not something you are. Okay? When we take a characteristic about ourselves, about our bodies, and turn it into almost like an identifier of ourselves with the phrase I am fat. That has so much, no pun intended, weight behind it. But if you can just slightly change that up to say, I have fat on my body. So what? Everyone does. They just have different amounts of it. So, oh gosh, this is still hard to talk about, y'all. This is shitty. It's pretty shitty to talk about. And I hate that I'm having to say this not just from a professional standpoint, but also a personal standpoint. So watch your words. That's what I want you to walk away from this episode with. Watch your words about yourself. Watch your words about your body. And whatever words are just adding fuel to the fire of your body dysmorphia, your insecurities, your sometimes hate towards your body. I know I've been there before. I hated parts of my body at times. And again, that was a whole shit ton of work that I had to go through mentally to start flipping that script, to start telling myself new stories. So how am I handling this? I am having to expend a lot more mental and emotional energy on overcoming these body image issues and insecurities that I have worked my ass off to overcome over the years. And I know that I have the tools and the skills now to overcome them a little bit faster, but it still fucking hurts. So I'm trying not to let that take a hit on my choices. I'm choosing to still focus on engaging in behaviors that support my health and happiness as much as possible, while holding space for those thoughts as they come up, accepting the emotions that come along with those thoughts, and not letting them run the show. So they are not the main character energy of my life right now. I am the main character energy. And those thoughts and feelings, they're just supporting actors. They're in the background. They're the background singers, the background dancers, and I am the fucking Beyonce of the stage. I am goddamn Taylor Swift. I mean, I wish I was. She's a rock star, but although I am not Beyonce or Taylor Swift, I am my own version of them. I am choosing to let myself take up space as the main star of my life, instead of letting those thoughts and those feelings run this show. I really like how that turned out. I wasn't expecting that analogy to go there, but there it is. I hope that's helpful for you. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Not Only Pants. Not Only Pants is a woman-owned small business by founder and CEO Monica, who found herself with a spinal cord injury and had to learn how to live in her body again. Her desire to feel comfortable and confident in her body led her to the creation of Not Only Pants, with the mission of showing every woman she deserves a pair of leggings that make her look and feel incredible. From sizes small to 5XL, Not Only Pants has created body-inclusive products to be loved by women of all different ages, shapes, and sizes. From leggings to capris to shorts and everything else in their store, every product is a labor of love and teamwork. For our listeners, you can use the code CHANGEMAKER, all one word, to save 20% off your order at www.notonlypants.com. For the educate section of this episode, what I'm hoping you can start to change are those stories around what you think about yourself and your body. Work to shift your language so that it doesn't carry as much power behind it by not using the words I am to describe the state of your body or things that are on your body, but rather choosing to just observe. Choosing to make observations, state the facts. Instead of I am fat, you switch that motherfucking script to I have fat on my body. So does everyone else in the world. So that means you're going to have to be very aware of what you're thinking and saying about yourself and your body. I know that there are generations above mine, aka mom, Bama, your generations were very image focused and very, very much bullies to your own bodies. And I don't want that for myself. I don't want that for any kids I might have. I don't want that for any young little tiny humans that are running around in my life. So not only what you say about yourself, but you also have to be very aware of what you're not saying about yourself. When was the last time that you said something nice about yourself or your body? I know Lizzo has been such a huge champion of self-love and body acceptance. And I know I've seen clips of her in her shows saying, when was the last time you said something nice about yourself? And I think that is such a powerful question, because when I think about that, it's not very recently. So work to also tell yourself more kind things. Be intentional about complimenting yourself. What do you like the most about your body? What do you love about yourself, your personality, your qualities, your characteristics, your energy? because it doesn't all have to be physically focused. You are so much more than your body. You are so much more than this physical form that you're taking up on this planet Earth, in this universe, at this specific time. You are a very unique, complex human individual, and that deserves to be celebrated because there is no other you in this universe. And that makes you absolutely unique and amazing. If you're having a hard time starting with figuring out something nice to say to or about yourself, maybe start with asking other people. Ask them, what do you like most about me? Why do you enjoy being around me? What makes me special? Because then hearing it from other people will help you to start to build up that compassionate, supportive, kind voice in your mind. I think I started accidentally going into our empower section with those reflection questions, but that's okay. So for empower, you're going to reflect on what those questions, on what the answers to those questions are. What do you like most about yourself? How are people energized by being around you? What draws people to you? And if you don't know those answers, then maybe asking people who are close to you, who are some of your biggest cheerleaders. And then for engage, I would love for you to come up with some affirmations for yourself. So we want to take those negative self-talk statements and we want to create more positive self-talk statements. For these, you are allowed to use I am, because that helps you to own it. That helps you to take it on, baby. So you get to use I am. And then I want you to insert some kind of positive descriptor. If you're not necessarily buying into it, if you are getting stuck on, for example, I am confident. If you're getting stuck on, but I don't feel confident, Melyssa, then what you can do is you can insert the word becoming. I am becoming confident. I am becoming healthier. I am becoming transformed. I am transforming. That's probably better English there. But just focus on ways that you can create statements that you actually buy into, ways that you can start using these statements to build yourself back up, to help build those mental muscles of positivity, to help overcome that negative self-talk voice. Again, we're working to boost that inner cheerleader and take down that inner critic. All right. So that's what we're working on with Engage, is get those statements. Look at yourself in the mirror while you think them or say them out loud. Maybe you place one or both hands over your heart and just close your eyes and repeat them to yourself. Maybe you journal them every morning. Whatever it is that's going to help you to start focusing more on embodying the energy behind those words and kicking that inner critic to the curb. I wish I would have said that right the first time. That's okay. All right. So there you go. You have educate, empower, and engage for this episode. Y'all, thank you so much for tuning in again. I hope that it was helpful hearing a little bit of my experience with some not so great coaching and how I aspire to be more of an asset in this world to help battle maybe some of those ways that we've been made to feel guilty or shamed or judged about the bodies that we have. Because your body is a miracle. Your body does so many miracles for you on a daily basis that we take for granted and overlook. So take this moment, express gratitude towards your incredible body for helping you breathe, for letting you walk, for picking up your cell phone, for listening to my voice through this podcast episode. Your ears are incredible. Like, who in the world would think that there's little tiny bones in our ears that translate all of these sound waves into how we process the information that we receive auditorily. I mean, come on now. That in itself is a miracle. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there because I'm letting my inner science nerd show, and we could go on an entire, oh my gosh, it would be a whirlwind experience of science and how the body works and how there are so many everyday miracles that happen and function down to the cellular level. But we're not going to go there this time. Maybe for a future episode when I can have like Hank or John Green on this podcast and they can make science fun for us because that's what they're really good at. But anyway, before I continue down this rabbit hole, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you back here next week. So until then, change makers, take care, stay healthy, and be well. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Healthy Living Doesn't Have to Suck. I'm so grateful to have you here with us, joining our Changemaker movement. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you'd subscribe and rate and review this show wherever you're tuning in and listening. It helps more people discover the show and grows our community of changemakers. Please connect with us on social media and follow us on Instagram at Healthy Living Doesn't Have to Suck for some behind-the-scenes looks, bonus content, and updates on new episodes. And don't forget to grab your copy of the book on Amazon. Thanks again, Changemakers, and I can't wait for you to tune in next week.